See, that one doesn't need sharpening. I use this one quite a lot. But you see it's only got a thin shiny line along there where I've sharpened it. But if you look at this one, this is a number 6. Excellent playing this. This came from my granddad. You see the shiny line on it? Let me put it down. See, that needs sharpening. Needs grinding and sharpening. I'm going to do the rest of my chisels as well. Don't use those. Those are the two that I use the most. And of course this one. I've got a couple of gouges, but I've never really found a round stone to sharpen them. It will grind them mainly. My grinding wheel on here, it's a bit too fat for the narrowest one that I've got. So grinding that one's a bit difficult. But also, like I say, I ain't got a round stone, so if anybody knows of one of them, that'd be good. That's just a sample I'm making for somebody. So I'll sharpen this, show you how it goes. This is broken. It's been broken for at least 20 years. But you see, it suits my hand. Because quite often you're playing at an angle. Get out of the way, knife. You're playing at an angle like that. So, suits my hand. It's got just a little bit of surface rust here and there, not much. But one of these sanding pads gets rid of that. You should really rub a bit of oil in, but oil on wood, especially when you're spraying, doesn't really go. So we'll see. Right, you should use a big screwdriver for that, but nobody does. So I'll grind this like I did a chisel. Right, that'll do. Very close to that edge. I haven't quite gone past, but that'll do for that. Right, I sharpen my planes at a slightly shallower angle, you know, that way. Because these really do want to be sharp, but also, let me get my plane. When this goes in there, it's at that sort of angle, and if you don't grind it shallow enough, then the back edge of that rubs on your wood instead of the pointy bit on the front. So you have to allow for the grind plus what you're going to sharpen it, plus the angle that you're going to sharpen it. You can see, if you look at that point there, that's only just enough. Try and give you a better view of that. See, that's going to be like that. Anyway, get this sharpened. Same again, you want the back to be flat. First stroke back, if you've got a burr on there especially. Because it's quite a wide blade, you want to be pressing on, you know, all over it. to do a bit more around there. That'll do. Like I say, you want to keep this quite a shallow angle, so if it's too steep then it won't cut once you put it in the plane. So find your angle and then just lift it just a fraction. You see on this front edge, see the water coming out. And as I'm sharpening it, I'm tilting it very slightly. That'll put a very slight crown on the pointy edge. Shouldn't need a lot. A bit slight burr on there, do it a little bit more. But you can just see a shiny edge. You don't need much. Right, get rid of that burr off the back. Backwards first again. Sometimes you can get rid of that burr, like that. Right, and I'll strap that on my leg. Right, and I said there's a little crown on it. Hardly anything at all. This isn't square. You probably can't see it either. Don't want to touch metal on my sharp blade. But what that does is when you're planing, these 2 points don't leave tram lines. All it does is very slightly cups out a piece of wood. Don't know if you can see it that way. But it just very slightly curves. Fraction of a millimetre. Right, then this piece, that edge wants to be pretty much as sharp as your blade is. Not quite, but and make sure you lean it back enough to create a sharp edge, so when it sits on there, there's no gap there. You don't want to get carried away because you don't want to wear this down too much, but just rub any crud off. It doesn't get worn, just want to remove any crud and just clean that up a little bit. I'll do. I could clean all this rust off, but I'm not gonna. Right, so you want to put your 2 pieces together like that. You want to avoid this edge touching that edge because you just dull your blade. And that little quirk, that little setback wants to be a millimetre or 2. The further back it is, as the shaving goes in, the longer it takes for it to break off, so there's more chance of tear out. You put it very close, it'll break out almost immediately. So just a fraction back, tighten that up. Like I say, everybody uses these. Right, and find something flat for your plane to sit on. You want that sort of centre, and if you watch the way that goes, it moves this like that, and come back to that. Just sit it in. And then now you want to find something light behind. So I'm going to use the table here, hold it up to the light. That's a good one. Have a look at your blade. I can't do it with one hand, but that looks like it's high up on the left there. So I'll adjust this thing at the back. Right, it looks a bit high on that edge, so I'll push this lever towards the side that it's high. That should centralise it a bit better. Best way to tell though, is back the blade off so it's not sticking through at all. So I've set my blade so it's just cutting just a little bit. That centre, look. See how the shaving came up in the middle. Alright, mine came up in the middle because I set it straight. But if you find that it's coming out that way, push your lever that way. And what that does is, as you push this lever that way, the blade does that. So it'll come up here. And you just want to try and juggle this until it's in the middle. If you're struggling to get this working in the centre, your blade isn't square maybe. Or you've set it in here because there's a little bit of give as you put it in. You're supposed to lift a plane as you come back. Right, and you probably can't see, but there's no sort of tram lines where the corners of the blade cutting in because it's cupping it.